everybody, today I am going to take you through how I classify data in Omniscope. So if we look here, I have two windows open. This is how I like to work when I'm classifying data. If your screen's big enough, then this is great. So I have my data set here, and then I have the UNSPSC here. So as you can see, I can easily flip between the two. This dataset is being uploaded into Omniscope. This is the kind of standard layout that you'll get when you open the software. I'm just going to change this top pane to a table. And as you can see, it looks exactly the same as the bottom pane. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to get rid of all the fields apart from the normalized name. In a real file, I'd normally have the value here as well, and I'd normally kind of filter by that to target the highest value items first. Then I'm going to aggregate, and I'm going to do this. So this now has aggregated my suppliers down to 17, and it shows me how many of each record I have at the side there. And that's what I do before I start my classification. So the first thing I would do is I would scroll up and down the normalized name and look for common words. So for example, in here, we've got things like solicitor, taxes, storage. So those are the things that I would target first. And I'd normally go through the supplier first and then start looking at descriptions. So for example, if I go to normalized name here and type in taxi, and we can see we've got one option here. So I'm going to go to the UNSPSC and I'm going to type taxi in. And that's going to give me a list of all the columns that have words with taxi in it. So not all of them will be relevant. But as you can see, this is the option that I need here. So I'm just going to Control C and Control V. Because it's the first time I have entered any information into this field, in the code field, it's going to ask me if I want to convert it to numbers. I don't for this particular file, so I just click no, and then that's that. So then I'm going to click reset. And now you'll see, because I have classified some information, there's now no value and a transportation option under segment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on the no value to filter out anything that I've already classified so that it leaves anything that still needs to be classified. Next, let's have a look at some descriptions. So you might find that you have the same description over a number of suppliers. So if we say have a look at milk in the description, I'm going to go to the description box here and I'm going to type in milk. And as you can see, we have a couple of different descriptions with milk in there against a couple of different suppliers. I'm going to go back to my UNSPSC and I'm going to type milk in. And then I'm going to go for fresh milk or butter products. And I'm going to pop those there. So the next thing I can do is I can either highlight that and delete it to bring back all the data, or I can do the little reset filter here. You can also see that there's a little exclamation mark here. So anytime you change something, it will, if you click this, it'll refresh your filter. So if I do that now, you'll notice that this disappears. But what it does is it leaves you with nothing because I still have a filter on in the description field for milk. So I'm just going to reset that, and that's going to bring back everything. And now you can see we've got two filtered out, one under food, one under transport, and then we've got the no value left. What I also wanted to show you was how easy it is to work with the UNSPSC in Omniscope. So for example, we have self-storage here. So I know that there's a self-storage option within the UNSPSC, but I don't want to write out the whole word every time. So I can just do self-store, for example, and it's going to bring up that for me. So then I can just classify all that. Perfect. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these out, and there's a reason for that, which we'll talk about shortly. And then as you can see, I'm just scrolling down, and again, I'm looking for examples where I can type in keywords and things. And something else that I wanted to talk to you about was utilities. So you will often find that you'll have maybe electricity, gas, and then some non-descriptive descriptions which don't actually tell you anything. Had this whole supplier been electricity, then I could confidently classify these two lines as electricity. However, because there's gas in here as well, I can't be confident, so I would probably go with just classing it as a utility. So I'm going to have to just do that, and then here we go. So this is what I would do. I would put that here. I would then go for gas and put this as gas, and then I'd go with electricity. And I'll just either go for electric utilities or supply of single phase electricity. I don't think it really matters, to be honest, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to click my little exclamation mark, and it's going to filter that out for me. So that is how I would start classifying data. Hopefully you can see from using this that it's very user-friendly, it's very quick, especially if you've got a lot of data. But there's another trick I want to show you, and that's when you might have partially classified suppliers and you want to see if there's a quick way to classify the rest of the data. So I'm going to do reset up here, which will reset all the filters in this panel. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to segment, and I'm going to select everything that is not classified. I'm then going to highlight all the suppliers in this list, and I'm going to click keep. And it's really important, this next bit, you must reset your filter on the pane here, not up here, otherwise you'll lose everything you do. So I've reset those filters, and what that's done is it's brought in any classified information against just those suppliers that I've selected. So the next thing I want to do is I want to filter out where there's no classified data. So I'm going to click on the little tick box here, which will filter out anything. And this then shows me that there's 3 suppliers that have some partially classified, no, there's 4, no, there's 3. Partially classified suppliers. So again, I'm going to select those, and I'm going to click keep. And again, I need to reset the filter here and not up the top. And now, as you can see, there's often a lot of suppliers that have multiple classifications against them, so brakes and Lyrico, but there's sometimes the occasional supplier where you've just missed a line or you haven't realised. So you can just quickly fill the gap in. Job done. Once you've done that, instead of doing the back buttons, I would click reset. That will reset all these filters here because you have multiple filters on, and then just go back to no value and continue with your classification. And that's what I do. In the next video, I will show you how to check a fully classified file to make sure that everything's looking correct and to look for errors. If you have any comments or any questions, please put them in the box below. Thank you.